and interview questions and pull out some surprising insights.
Okay.
So think of this as your insider's guide with real-world examples and tips that'll help you stand out from the crowd.
I like it.
So first things first, let's demystify ABAP.
Sure.
What exactly is it and why is it such a big deal?
Well, ABA stands for Advanced Business Application Programming,
Okay.
and it's the primary language used to build custom applications within SAP systems.
Gotcha.
So you think of any large company, yeah, chances are they're using SAP to manage at least some, if not all, of their core business processes, everything from finances and supply chains to customer relationships.
So if SAP is like the engine, then ABAP is the language that tells it what to do.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, cool.
ABAP gives you the power to customize SAP to meet specific business needs.
All right.
You can automate complex tasks, optimize performance bottlenecks, and even integrate SAP with other systems.
Oh,
And these interview questions that we're going to dive into, they give you a peek behind the curtain showing you exactly what hiring managers are looking for in a skilled ABAP developer.
okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, one term that kept popping up in these interview questions was the ABA dictionary.
Okay.
It sounds kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
Can you shed some light on what it is and why it matters so much?
It's not as mysterious as it sounds.
Okay.
The ABAP dictionary is essentially the central repository where you define all of the data structures and technical definitions used in your SAP system. Think of it like the blueprint of your SAP house.
Uh-huh.
It ensures that all of the different components fit together seamlessly and that everyone involved in building and maintaining the system is speaking the same language.
So if I'm building an ABAP application, the dictionary is like my go-to reference guide, making sure all of my data is consistent and organized.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
The ABAP dictionary is all about data consistency and integrity.
Right?
Let's say you're a large retail company with thousands of products.
Okay.
Imagine the chaos if your product descriptions, pricing, and inventory levels were scattered across different systems with no unified structure.
Yeah. That sounds like a nightmare.
You could end up shipping the wrong items, miscalculating inventory, and ultimately losing customers.
Wow. So the ABAP dictionary helps prevent some major real-world headaches.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's the foundation of a well-structured and reliable SAP system.
Gotcha.
By defining all of your data elements, tables, and relationships in the dictionary, you're ensuring that everyone is working with the same information.
Right.
Which is crucial for efficient operations and accurate reporting.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I think what our listener is really eager to know is what can you actually do with ABE?
Sure.
Can you give us some real-world examples of how this language solves business problems?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of the most common and powerful use cases is automation.
Okay.
Let's imagine a company that spends hours every month generating sales reports manually.
Okay.
It's a tedious process prone to human error,
Yeah.
and it ties up valuable employee time that could be better spent elsewhere.
Makes sense.
An ABAP developer could automate that entire process, pulling data from various SAP modules, performing calculations, and generating those reports in a fraction of the time.
Oh, wow.
No more spreadsheets, no more late nights crunching numbers.
Right.
Just accurate on-demand reports at your fingertips.
Okay, that sounds like a huge time saver.
It is.
What other kinds of problems can ABA tackle?
Another major area is performance optimization. Imagine a company whose sales reporting system takes hours to run.
Yeah.
It's slowing down their decision-making process and frustrating everyone involved.
Right.
An ABA developer could analyze the system's performance, identify bottlenecks, and optimize the code using techniques like data buffering or streamlining database queries with commands like select. For all entries,
Okay.
this could cut the reporting time down to minutes, freeing up resources and enabling faster, more informed decisions.
So it's not just about building new features, it's about making sure the existing system runs smoothly and efficiently.
Exactly.
It sounds like ABP developers are a bit like digital detectives, identifying problems and finding creative solutions.
That's a great way to think about it.
Sometimes, though,
Yeah.
you run into situations where the standard SAP system just doesn't quite cut it.
Right.
Maybe a company has a unique business process, or they need a very specific functionality that's not readily available.
Yeah.
That's where ABAP shines in terms of building custom solutions. So let's say a company has a unique way of managing invoices,
Okay.
or they want a custom dashboard that displays key performance indicators in a very specific way.
Yeah.
An ABA developer can create a tailored solution that fits their exact needs extending the capabilities of their SAP system and giving them a competitive edge.
That's right.
It sounds like ABA developers need to be not just coders, but also problem solvers, able to understand a business need and translate it into a technical solution.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about bridging that gap between business requirements and technical execution. The best ABA developers are those who can speak both languages fluently. They can sit down with business users, understand their pain points, and then design and build solutions that address those challenges in a way that's both elegant and effective.
Speaking of challenges,
Yeah.
even the most skilled developers encounter bugs and errors in their code.
Oh, for sure.
What does the debugging process look like for an ABU developer?
Right.
How do they go about finding and fixing those inevitable glitches?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Debugging is an essential part of any developer's toolkit. And ABAP developers have a range of tools and techniques at their disposal.
Okay.
It often starts with analyzing system logs, error messages, and user feedback to pinpoint the problem area.
Yep.
Then they can use debugging tools like the ABAP debugger or SQL trace to step through the code, examine variables, and identify the root cause of the issue.
So it's a bit like being a detective following the trail of clues until you find the culprit.
That's a great analogy.
Cool.
And just like a good detective, an ABAP developer needs to be methodical, patient, and detail-oriented.
Right.
Sometimes the solution is obvious. Other times it takes some serious digging and creative problem-solving to track down that elusive bug.
Can you share an example of a particularly challenging debugging experience you've had?
Sure.
And what you learned from it?
I remember one case where we were dealing with a performance issue that was baffling everyone.
Okay.
The system was running incredibly slow, but we couldn't figure out why.
Oh, wow. We spent days combing through the code, running traces, and analyzing logs.
Yeah.
Finally, we discovered that a single database query buried deep within a complex process was being executed thousands of times more than necessary.
Oh, no.
It was like finding a needle in a haystack.
That sounds incredibly frustrating.
It was.
What was the key takeaway from that experience?
It reinforced the importance of meticulous code review and the power of persistence.
Okay.
Even a seemingly small error hidden deep within a complex system can have a major impact on performance.
Right.
It taught me to never underestimate the importance of thorough testing and to always be prepared to dig deep to find the root cause of a problem.
It's a good reminder that even the best developers are constantly learning and refining their approach.
Absolutely.
Now, no system exists in isolation, especially in today's interconnected business world.
Right.
How do ABA developers ensure that SAP systems can seamlessly interact and exchange data with other systems, both within and outside the organization?
That's where integrations come in.
And they're a critical aspect of modern ABAP development. SAP provides a variety of powerful tools and technologies for connecting with other systems.
Okay.
One of the key ones is BAPI's business application programming interfaces.
Okay.
Think of these as pre-built connectors that allow different systems to exchange data in a standardized way.
Gotcha.
For example, if you need to update customer information in both your SAP system and your CRM system, a BAPI can handle that data transfer automatically, ensuring consistency across both platforms.
So BAPIs act as bridges, allowing different systems to speak the same language and share information smoothly.
Exactly. They provide a common framework for exchanging business data, making integrations much easier to implement and manage.
What about those times when you need to connect with a system that doesn't have a pre-built BOPI?
Right.
How do ABA developers handle those situations?
That's where remote function calls, or RFCs, come in.
Okay.
RFCs allow you to execute functions in a remote system, whether it's another SAP system or a completely different platform.
As if they were part of your local SAP system.
Okay.
It's a powerful way to extend the reach of your ABAP applications and integrate with a wide range of external systems.
So RFCs give you the flexibility to reach out and connect with pretty much any system that can communicate over a network.
That's right.
Cool.
They provide a flexible and powerful mechanism for building custom integrations.
This has been an incredible overview of ABAP and its capabilities.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the fundamentals of the language to the importance of the ABAP dictionary, real-world applications, debugging challenges, and the world of integrations.
Right.
It's clear that ABAP is a versatile and powerful language for building, customizing, and extending SAP systems.
It is.
But before we move on to part 2, where we'll delve deeper into some of the technical aspects, I'd like to touch on one more crucial topic: security.
Sure.
With so much sensitive data flowing through these systems, how do ABAP developers ensure that everything is protected and secure?
That's a critical question.
And security should be a top priority for any AB developer.
Right.
They have a responsibility to build secure applications and implement measures to safeguard sensitive data. This includes things like authorization checks to ensure that only authorized users can access certain data and input validation to prevent malicious code or data from being injected into the system.
It sounds like security is not just an afterthought.
Right.
It needs to be baked into the development process from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Security needs to be part of the DNA of every ABAP application.
Gotcha.
Developers need to be mindful of potential vulnerabilities, follow secure coding practices, and stay up to date on the latest security threats and mitigation strategies.
So ABAP development is about more than just writing code.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the business context, thinking critically about potential problems, and building solutions that are not only functional, but also secure and reliable.
That's a great way to sum it up. ABAP development is a multifaceted discipline that requires a blend of technical skills, analytical thinking, and a deep understanding of the business environment.
That's a perfect note to end part 1 on.
Yeah.
Join us in part 2, where we'll get a bit more technical and explore some of the key concepts that ABAP developers use to build and optimize SAP applications. See you there.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to our ABA Deep Dive. In part 1, we laid the groundwork exploring what ABAP is, why it's so important in the world of SAP, and the kinds of problems it can solve.
Right.
Now we're going to roll up our sleeves and get a bit more technical, delving into some of the key concepts and techniques that ABAP developers use to build, optimize, and secure those powerful SAP applications.
I'm ready to dive in.
Great. Let's start with something we touched on earlier. Performance optimization.
Okay.
It's one thing to write code that works, but it's another thing entirely to write code that works efficiently.
Right.
Why is performance optimization so crucial in the world of ABA development?
Performance optimization is absolutely essential, especially when you're dealing with large, complex SAP systems handling vast amounts of data.
Right.
Imagine a scenario where a company's critical sales report takes hours to run.
Okay.
It slows down decision-making, frustrates users, and can even impact the bottom line.
Wow.
An ABEP developer who understands performance optimization can analyze that report, identify bottlenecks, and implement solutions to make it run significantly faster.
Okay.
Perhaps even in minutes instead of hours.
So it's not just about speed for speed's sake.
Right.
It's about making sure these systems are responsive, efficient, and can handle the demands of a busy business environment.
Exactly. And it's not just about user experience either.
Okay.
A poorly optimized program can consume excessive system resources, putting a strain on servers and potentially impacting the performance of other applications running on the same system.
Okay, so how do ABA developers actually go about optimizing code for performance?
Right.
What are some of the techniques they use?
One of the most important areas to focus on is database interactions. Okay. A poorly written program might make numerous unnecessary calls to the database, retrieving more data than it needs, or using inefficient query structures.
Wow.
This can significantly slow down the application.
Makes sense.
A skilled AB app developer knows how to write lean and efficient queries, use database indexes effectively to speed up data retrieval, and leverage techniques like data buffering to minimize the number of trips to the database.
So it sounds like a deep understanding of SQL, the language used to communicate with databases, is crucial for ABAP developers.
Absolutely. SQL proficiency is a must-have for any ABAP developer.
Got you.
They need to be able to craft queries that are not only syntactically correct, but also optimized for performance.
Beyond database interactions, what are some other areas where ABAP developers can squeeze out performance gains?
Another key area is understanding how ABAP handles internal tables, which are temporary data structures used within a program to store and manipulate data.
Right.
Using internal tables efficiently is crucial for performance. For example, choosing the right type of internal table for a specific task, minimizing the amount of data copied between tables, and using appropriate looping and sorting techniques can make a big difference.
Can you give us a specific example of how an ABAP developer might optimize the use of internal tables for performance?
Sure. Let's say you have a program that needs to process a large amount of customer data stored in an internal table.
Right.
Instead of looping through the entire table every time you need to find a specific customer, you could create a secondary internal table that acts as an index, allowing you to quickly locate the desired customer record.
Gotcha.
This technique, known as indexing, can dramatically reduce processing time, especially when dealing with large data sets.
That's a great example of how a seemingly small optimization can have a significant impact on performance.
Right.
It's about thinking strategically about how data is structured and accessed within the program.
Exactly. It's about understanding the nuances of how ABAP works and applying that knowledge to write code that is not only functional but also performant.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about error handling.
Okay.
No matter how carefully we code, things can go wrong. Unexpected data, external system failures, or even just plain old typos.
Yeah, that's true.
How do ABA developers build in safeguards to gracefully handle these inevitable errors?
Error handling is essential for building robust and reliable applications.
Right.
In ABOP, one of the key tools for error handling is the Troy-Whitecat CH block.
Okay.
Essentially allows you to define a section of code that might potentially throw an exception
Mm-hmm.
and then specify how to handle that exception if it occurs.
So it's like setting up a safety net for your code, anticipating that things might go wrong, and providing a plan B.
That's a perfect analogy.
Okay.
The TIY block contains the code that might cause an error,
Uh-huh.
and the HTH block contains the code that executes if an exception is raised. This prevents the program from crashing and allows you to either gracefully recover from the error,
Yeah.
or at least log it and provide helpful information to the user.
Can you give us a concrete example of how this try-catch mechanism might work in a real-world ABAP application?
Sure. Imagine you have a program that processes customer orders and needs to validate their credit card information against an external payment gateway.
Okay.
The call to the external system might fail for various reasons: network issues, server downtime, or even invalid credit card details.
Right.
Without proper error handling, the program could crash or leave the order in limbo.
That would definitely be a bad user experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with a try-catch block, you can handle that exception gracefully.
Okay.
You could attempt to retry the connection log, the error for further investigation, or display a user-friendly message explaining the situation and asking the customer to try again later.
So the try-catch block not only prevents a system crash, but also allows you to control the user experience even when things go wrong behind the scenes.
Precisely, it's about building resilience into your applications and ensuring that they can handle unexpected situations without disrupting the user's workflow.
Now let's move on to a topic that's revolutionized software development.
Yeah.
Object-oriented programming.
Okay.
How has this paradigm shift impacted the world of ABAP?
Object-oriented programming, or OOP, has had a major impact on ABAP development,
Okay.
introducing concepts like encapsulation inheritance and polymorphism.
Right.
It's led to the creation of ABAP objects, an extension of the ABAP language that enables developers to build more modular, reusable, and maintainable code.
Can you break down those concepts for our listeners who might not be familiar with OP?
Sure, encapsulation is all about bundling data and the methods that operate on that data within a single unit called an object.
Okay.
This promotes data integrity and makes code easier to manage.
Gotcha.
Inheritance allows you to create new objects based on existing ones, inheriting their properties and methods, which fosters code reuse and reduces redundancy. Polymorphism allows objects to respond to the same method call in different ways based on their specific type, which makes code more flexible and adaptable.
So OOP is about creating building blocks that can be assembled and customized to create complex applications, much like building a house with Lego bricks.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And in ABP objects, these building blocks are called classes.
Okay.
You define a class with its properties and methods, and then you can create instances of that class, which are called objects.
Can you give us a real-world example of how ABAP objects might be used to build a specific application?
Let's say you're building a system for managing customer accounts.
Yep.
You could define a class called customer with properties like name, address, contact information, and order history. You could then create methods within that class to perform actions like creating a new customer, updating their information, or retrieving their order history.
So each customer object would encapsulate all the data and functionality related to that specific customer.
Exactly. And you could then use these customer objects throughout your application, interacting with them in a consistent and predictable way.
Okay.
This makes the code more organized, easier to maintain, and less prone to errors.
It sounds like ABA objects brings a level of structure and modularity that's essential for building complex enterprise-grade applications.
Absolutely. It's a powerful paradigm that has significantly enhanced the capabilities of ABA and allowed developers to build more sophisticated and maintainable SAP applications.
Now, we know that no system exists in isolation.
Right.
How do ABAP avatars connect SAP systems with the outside world, enabling them to interact with other applications, platforms, and services?
That's where integrations come in.
Okay.
And ABA provides a rich toolkit for making those connections happen.
Hmm.
We've already touched on BAPIs and RFCs, which are powerful tools for synchronous communication between systems.
Right. BAPIs are like pre-built connectors for common business processes, and RFCs allow you to execute functions in a remote system, as if they were part of your local system.
Exactly, but there's another important category of integrations that's become increasingly crucial in today's interconnected world. Web services.
Okay.
Web services allow systems to exchange data over the internet using standardized protocols like SOP and REST.
Right.
And the great news is that ABAP developers can both create and consume web services, allowing them to integrate SAP systems with a vast array of external applications and platforms.
So web services are like opening up a communication channel between SAP and the wider digital world.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Web services enable SAP systems to participate in a broader ecosystem of applications and services, exchanging data with e-commerce platforms, cloud-based solutions, mobile apps, and much more.
Could you give us a concrete example of how web services might be used to integrate an SAP system with an external application?
Sure. Imagine a company that wants to integrate its SAP system with its online store.
Okay.
Using web services, they could automatically update inventory levels in the online store whenever a sale is made in SAP. They could also send order confirmations from SAP to customers via email or SMS, and even allow customers to track their order status in real time by querying the SAP system through the online store.
It's like weaving a digital tapestry, connecting these systems together to create a seamless flow of information and functionality.
That's a beautiful analogy, and ABAP plays a key role in making those connections happen, enabling SAP systems to participate in this interconnected world.
This has been a fascinating dive into some of the core technical aspects of ABA development.
Yeah, it has.
We've explored performance optimization error, handling the power of ABAP objects, and the world of integrations using BPIs, RFCs, and web services.
Right.
It's clear that ABP developers need a diverse skill set, combining technical expertise with problem-solving abilities and a deep understanding of business processes.
Absolutely. ABAP development is a challenging and rewarding field that constantly pushes you to learn and grow.
And on that note of growth and evolution, let's move on to part 3, where we'll explore the future of ABA development and the key trends shaping this dynamic landscape. Join us as we uncover what lies ahead for ABA in the world of cloud computing, user experience design, and beyond. Welcome back to the final part of our ABA deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the fundamentals of the language to some pretty advanced techniques like object-oriented programming and web services.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. But as we all know, the tech world is constantly evolving.
Always moving.
It is. What does the future hold for ABA?
That's a great question, and I think the future of ABAP is incredibly exciting.
Okay.
It's a language that's constantly adapting to meet the changing needs of businesses and embrace the latest technological advancements.
Okay, so let's talk about those advancements. What are some of the key trends shaping the future of ABA development?
Sure.
What should our listener be paying attention to?
One of the most significant trends is the rise of cloud computing. We're seeing a massive shift as more and more businesses move their SAP systems to the cloud.
Right.
This transition brings both opportunities and challenges for ABAP developers.
Let's break that down. What are some of the implications of this move to the cloud, specifically for ABA development?
Well, on the one hand, cloud platforms offer incredible scalability and flexibility.
Okay.
You can spin up new servers and resources on demand, which makes it much easier to handle peaks in demand or rapidly deploy new applications.
Right.
This opens up exciting possibilities for ABAP developers to build innovative cloud-native solutions.
So it's about leveraging the agility and power of the cloud to create more dynamic and responsive SAP applications.
Exactly. But there are also challenges.
Okay, what kinds?
Traditional ABA code, written for on-premise systems, might not be optimized for cloud environments, which often rely on different architectures and technologies.
So it's not just a matter of lifting and shifting existing ABA code to the cloud. ABAP developers need to adapt their skill sets and learn new ways of building and deploying applications in this new paradigm.
Absolutely. And SAP is actively supporting this transition by providing new tools and frameworks specifically designed for cloud-based ABAP development.
Okay.
For example, they've introduced the concept of ABB in the cloud, which provides a dedicated environment for building and running ABB applications natively in the cloud.
It sounds like there's a real opportunity here for ABAP developers to become leaders in this cloud-native SAP world.
Absolutely. It's a chance to be at the forefront of innovation, building the next generation of SAP applications that leverage the power and flexibility of the cloud.
Now, another trend that's been gaining momentum is the increasing emphasis on user experience, or UX.
All right.
People expect software to be intuitive, engaging, and visually appealing.
Yeah.
How is the world of AB8 responding to this demand for better UX?
That's a great point. Traditionally, ABAP applications were known for their functionality rather than their visual appeal,
Right.
but things are changing rapidly. SAP has been investing heavily in modernizing the UX of its applications, and ABAP developers are playing a key role in this transformation.
So how are ABAP developers contributing to this UX revolution?
Okay.
What tools and technologies are they using to create more user-friendly applications?
One key technology is SAP Fiori,
Okay.
which provides a set of modern, user-friendly design guidelines and tools.
Mm-hmm.
ABAP developers can use Fiori to create applications that are visually appealing, responsive, and consistent across different devices.
So it's about moving away from those clunky old-school interfaces
Right.
and embracing a more modern, intuitive design approach.
Exactly. And it's not just about aesthetics.
Right.
Good UX design is about understanding user needs, streamlining workflows, and creating applications that are not just functional, but also enjoyable to use.
It sounds like ABAP developers are being challenged to think more holistically about the user experience, considering not just the technical aspects of the application, but also how it will be perceived and used by real people.
That's right. And it's leading to a new breed of ABAP developers who are not only technically skilled, but also have a keen eye for design and a deep understanding of user-centered design principles.
This has been a fascinating glimpse into the future of ABAP.
Hmm.
It seems like it's a language that's well-positioned to thrive in this era of cloud computing, mobile devices, and ever-increasing user expectations.
I completely agree. ABAP is a versatile and powerful language that's constantly evolving to meet the demands of the modern business world.
So for our listener who's been on this ABAP journey with us, what's your final piece of advice?
Sure.
What can they do to stay ahead of the curve and make the most of the opportunities that lie ahead?
My advice is to never stop learning.
Okay.
The world of technology, and especially the world of SAP, is in constant motion.
Right.
Embrace continuous learning, explore new technologies, and stay connected with the ABAP community.
Okay.
It's an incredibly supportive and vibrant community full of passionate individuals who are always willing to share their knowledge and help each other grow.
That's great advice. So listener, we hope this deep dive has given you a solid understanding of the world of ABHA, its power, its versatility, and its exciting future. We've explored the fundamentals, the technical intricacies, and the trends shaping its evolution. Now it's your turn to explore further, dive deeper, and discover what you can create with this remarkable language. The possibilities are truly endless.